Okay, so we're gonna go ahead into part 6. So we last left off with Jessica walking away from Michael and him entering the chats to figure out what's going on. Who did this to her? How did these pictures get released into her directly? So we'll start there. Jessica walked through her door, and when she walked through the door, she just looked around her house and she took a deep sigh and she said, gosh, I don't want to lose all of this. I love my husband. I love my life. Lord, protect my life. Protect my husband. Protect me, Lord. She said, God, I don't want to make these choices anymore. So she walked into the kitchen and she began to take all the groceries out of the bag, and she thought about her husband and she decided to give him a call just to, let him know that she was cooking his favorite meal tonight. So she went ahead and reached out to him and praying that he answered the phone and he wasn't too busy. Come on, honey. Oh, hi, honey. How are you? I just made it in. I wind up going to the grocery store, and I had picked up something to make your favorite meal tonight. Yes. Oh yeah, you're always on my mind. I'm always thinking of you. Absolutely. And I also picked up your favorite drink for tonight as well. I know. I'm okay. If I'm gonna spoil anyone, I'm gonna spoil my husband. Absolutely. Okay. So I know we have things to talk about, but I figure we'll talk about it calmly over a good dinner and your bourbon, and I got me some wine. Okay. And about what time? All right. Sounds good. Well, I love you. I'll see you later. It'll be piping hot, baby. All right, talk to you then. Okay, bye-bye. Jessica's husband, it's just like he was calm, and he knew it was already difficult for her to lose her job that she's been on for 6 years. So he didn't want to lay it in on her. He knew that the mortgage was due this week, but he decided to figure it out as a man and just go ahead and take that stress off of her without piling more on her. So Jessica started peeling potatoes, and she turned on some music, and she just began to unwind and poured herself a glass of wine and started dancing around the kitchen. And then she put the pot roast in the oven and walked into her living room, and she looked over at her laptop. She's like, she said, let me just check my emails. So she sat down and she opened up her laptop. She went to her Google account and she noticed she had some emails. And they were from Margaret again. It was the same email address from earlier at work. She's like, why is this woman taunting me? What is going on? So she opened up the email. Jessica couldn't believe her eyes. It was pictures of her getting out of her car, going inside the restaurant, and sitting there with Michael talking. Who was watching her? Who was taking these pictures of her? Jessica decided to respond to the email. Who is this, in capital letters? And she hit send. She waited just a few seconds later and she get a response of a no reply email. What the? She couldn't believe it. Jessica knew somebody at this point was messing with her. How could the email address have stated it was her boss, but it was a no reply email? Jessica knew something terrible was going on, and she just didn't know what at this point. So she decided to call Michael again, and she said, something's not right. How is it that someone was watching her as she was getting out of her car? She picked up the phone and she dialed his number. She was pissed. But at the same time, she was afraid because she had no idea what was going on. Who was watching her? Michael, I just received an email and I don't know what's going on. I just received an email with me getting out of my car and going into the same restaurant I just met you at and sitting there with you at the table. Someone just sent these emails to me. Someone is watching me, Michael. Who could it? Whatever I got myself into that night, it all had to come from that night because that's where it started. That's when the email started. Something's going on, Michael, and if you can stop it, please stop it before my life turns into a mess. Listen here. There's got to be something you can do. If you know what's going on in this group chat, then it's got to be something you can do. Yeah, I appreciate that. The sooner the better. Thank you so much. Goodbye. Jessica hangs up. Michael declared it was nothing he can do and that he was working on it. It's like he couldn't get immediate results, but he said that he would try to get something resolved by the evening, the latest by the morning. Jessica just had to, I don't know, she grew anxiety and she tried to give it time, but she knew she had to get to the bottom of it herself too. But she just didn't know where to start. She knew Michael was part of it, but she just didn't know how. She took a deep breath. She walked into the kitchen again and she grabbed her wine. She was shaking because who could get that close to her without her even noticing someone was taking pictures of her? Jessica decided that she needed to be more aware of her surroundings and just watch people watch her. She said, I'm more aware now. I know I think I don't know. Jessica's phone rang and she startled her and she grabs the phone. Hello? This is Jessica. Who is this? Oh, okay. Teresa. What? Are you kidding me? Oh my God. Teresa was the girl at work that she just called her and told her that Margaret was hit by a car. And it was fatal. That's so awful to hear. I may have gotten suspended today, but there's nothing that I would have never. Oh my God, that is awful.